Hello, fish people. This is kind of an experiment with a 10-gallon tank. I've gotten water out of the river behind my house, which is the Brackish River, the Banana River. It's connected to the Atlantic Ocean. It's not quite salt water, but it's not quite fresh water. But I'm using the actual river water, and I'm not using anything from the pet store that would make fish tank salt water. I've got fish I've caught out of the river, and I have some pretty unique species actually. I've got some flounder. Um, there's a bunch of them actually. These are a couple real small ones, but there's a couple that are the size of a quarter. Um, I've got a little whiting, a lot of different types of crabs, um, some needlefish, which is, I believe it's a member of the seahorse family. Got about 3 or 4 of those. One of them seems pregnant. A few of the crabs are obviously pregnant, and I have a lot of ghost shrimp from the river as well. Um, I'm using Florida crushed coral to keep the kind of pH, I guess, trying to keep it a saltwater environment. This, like I said, this is just an experiment. This piece of coral you see here was actually from a centerpiece of my wife and I's wedding about 7 years ago. And this rock was previously in a fish tank of mine. So all I really have to do with water changes is walk a couple blocks down to the river and get a bucket of water and take some out and put some in here. I'm using a huge filter. It's a Tetra Whisper 60. It was used left over from a large tank, a 55-gallon tank I had. And like I said, this is an experiment. I just figured this would, more filtration is better. But the fish, even the fish I didn't think would survive, like the little flounders, have survived. They've been in all alive for about a week now. Some of the other fish and crabs have been going on for a couple of weeks. I feed them regular Tetramin fish food, tropical flakes, and I've gotten some bottom feeder food, shrimp tabs, I guess. And since there's a lot of fish in here, they're wild fish. They're very hungry. They eat a lot. So I was kind of counting on attrition, and that's why you see there's a lot of fish in there. But they haven't died off. They're actually living very well. I've only done one half water change in a period of 2 weeks. And I guess I'll keep going on as I'm doing because it seems to be working. Everybody seems to be happy. I tried to get some fish out of the beach in front of my house last night. A couple of the little shiners are still alive, but I think they need more oxygen and more of a ocean salty environment than I'm providing. Like I said, they're still alive. One of them died out of about 3 or 4 of them, and it's been almost 24 hours. So everybody's happy. I tried to get some seagrass from the river on a canoe trip, and it actually did very well. I was surprised, but the crabs and everybody decided it was very tasty, and it is gone. So I got to get some more. I have some moss and some things. It's like a floating ball moss, and I'm trying to kind of put it in the craters of this rock. But I have so much current going from the Whisper 60, it's kind of hard to nail things down. It has an adjustable flow on it. I've been kind of regulating with it. I turn the flow down when I put food in there because it's just a torrent of water. And I notice if I forget to turn it back on, all the fish are up top trying to get some air. So I've been trying to find the happy medium in between, I guess, a whirlpool bath and a living environment for the fish. I'm going to try and hold it steady and zoom in on a couple of the... I don't know if you can see that guy. There's one of the... It's called the needlefish. He's in there. Um, there's crabs everywhere. I guess they're shy right now. Let's see, there's one back there. But I would guess there's like over a dozen crabs in here. Well, here's one up. See this guy? He's living up there. But there are tons of crabs in here. And they're all doing pretty well. Everybody's pretty happy. You know, like I said, here's a flounder on the bottom. Do you see that? There's one right there. You know, and here's one stuck to the side. But I've got an air stone like under the rock in here. Kind of looks like the air's coming up out of the spring there. I thought that was neat. Other than that, I'm trying not to put too much stuff in the tank. If I could find maybe some crushed rock or coral type rock in the river to kind of keep the water the right balance, I'm going to do that. And like this experiment of this staghorn, like I said, it's probably been out of the water for 10-15 years, and I didn't know how well it would do, but everyone seems to like it. A lot of people living in there, and they're happy, so it's going to stay. This rock here, I'm not sure what it's called. It has tons of little holes in it and stuff like that, so everybody really likes that one. And these larger objects kind of seem to break up the big flow I have going. And, you know, when the water goes in there from our river, it's brackish, so it's a brown. You know, you can only see down in the river about a hand, about a foot. So this filter's doing a pretty good job. I haven't changed the pads, or I haven't cleaned them. I'm just letting it go, and when I see them happy, I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and I see them kind of struggling, I'll try and change. But other than that, this is just the beginning video of my experiment. I have to keep a towel over the top of the tank most of the time because the sun outside this window, and also I have a kitten and he thinks they're very interesting. But other than that, I'm just going to keep a little diary of this, and we'll see where it goes and where it ends up. So far, it's been successful. It is pretty interesting, and if